Have you heard the news? In the Bronx, there's a new crop of reporters, high school students, adding a valuable voice to news coverage of the borough. It's all in the pages of Bronx Youth Journalism. We end our show with this report from producer Michelle Garcia.
Leroy, good to see you. All right.
The principal's office. The very thought can strike fear in a student. But this time, it's the student who's asking the questions.
When you gave out that note to all the students in the school, they thought, like tuition is going up because the Archdiocese is making, the schools independent.
Leroy Solomon Day might be a student, but he's also a reporter on a story, asking questions students and teachers want to know.
You said that the transfer rate out is going to decrease and the transfer rate in is going to increase. Could you, explain on that?
Leroy's reporting a story about the fate of his school, Cardinal Spellman High School in the Bronx.
And my friends are talking, saying, oh, I'm going to have to transfer out because the tuition's going up. I was like, I got to find out more about this, see if this is really the case.
Leroy's story and articles by teens from other Bronx high schools is the heart of the pages of community newspaper Bronx Youth Heard. With the Bronx as their beat, the young people are challenged to look at their home with a reporter's eye.
Discover on your own, report extensively.
For 6 weeks, these cub reporters learn and practice the tricks of the journalism trade. Bronx Youth Heard is a project funded by a grant by the New York Foundation. Their newsroom is housed at the Mount Hope Housing Corporation.
Our goal, too, is to help you guys get experience different kinds of reporting.
It's hands-on training with real-life expectations by working journalists, editors of Bronx community newspapers.
We're teaching them reporting and writing, the basics of journalism, but we're also giving them a voice in their own communities. We're putting their stories in a paper that's read by, their parents, their teachers, policemen, politicians even. The adults that maybe don't always notice children as much as they should do.
One of the first students in the first classes wrote about kind of anti-gay sentiment in her school, and she interviewed the students about it, even the ones who she felt were expressing things that she didn't agree with. She sat down with them and spoke with them. That's something that would be really hard for us to do.
Thursday night or Friday, you'd start checking the story.
They're encouraged by role models, including the New York Times' David Gonzalez.
I've kind of always been fascinated by this borough. We live in one of the most misunderstood boroughs in the world.
Chelsea Bocagno is listening intently. She's onto a story she thinks does just that, gets to community concerns.
It's about a fire that occurred 2 weeks ago on Westchester Square, and it's under one roof, all these places, a nail salon, a pizza shop, a barber shop, they all burned down. I'm going to focus on how it impacted the people of the businesses, the people who went to the businesses, if they're going to reopen the same businesses there, if they're going to relocate.
Chelsea admits that she's not too keen on reading the news, a sign of the struggling times for newspapers, which might not bode well for the future of these fledgling journalists.
Hopefully by the time they get out of college, the new paradigm will be more clear. Sooner than that, we're going to have these students come back and we're intern for us, and we're going to stay in touch with them. And really, community news is really, I think, as vibrant as ever.
And to cover community, he says, that means covering people of all ages. For Independent Sources, I'm Michelle Garcia.